Welcome back to another rebuild I have for you guys here today on Madden 19. Today it is going to be a realistic rebuild of the Denver Broncos. Before I get into the team, as always, my Discord and my Twitter are linked in the description below if you would like to click on either of those links. Also, I'd like to discuss this as well. So the roster I am currently using does not have the rookies who were just drafted. The reason I'm doing this, or I guess the main reason why I'm doing this, is I don't want their rookie seasons to conflict with the rookies of the 2018 season. So, like, Noah Fant is on this team now. He was just drafted by the Broncos. He could win Rookie of the Year, and then Phillip Lindsay could be in second, because Phillip Lindsay is still considered a rookie in this game. I didn't want that to happen. That's the main reason. Also, I kind of just like drafting this, 2019 draft class, having different players go to different teams and all that good stuff. Maybe seeing how your team would do if they drafted differently and whatnot. But anyway, let's get into the team. The quarterback here for this team is Joe Flacco. Obviously not the long-term answer. They just drafted Drew Lock, so I'm sure Joe Flacco will, kind of be a mentor to Drew Lock. Similar quarterbacks, I guess. Lock actually looked pretty decent. I think he is going to be pretty good one day. I think that was a great draft pick to snag him in the second round. Phillip Lindsay, undrafted running back this past year, has star development now. Dude's a beast, 5'8", but runs very, very hard. He only has 70 trucking, but I feel like it should be a little higher. Doesn't go down very easily. He is phenomenal. That looks nothing like him at all. Royce Freeman, also they drafted last year. More of the power back of the two. 86 trucking on him. Wide receivers, Emmanuel Sanders, Courtland Sutton, Deshaun Hamilton. Courtland Sutton, I've seen him develop into a god, and I really hope that can happen here. I'll probably have him play the slot, even though Deshaun Hamilton, I'm sure, is the slot receiver for this team. 78 short, 79 medium. What's Courtland Sutton all about? I think that was around the same, actually. I might have Courtland Sutton play the number 2 in the slot because that position seems to go off. I'll have Emmanuel Sanders be the number 1 for the season, though. Their offensive line got a bit better here with Jawan James at right tackle. I think they also drafted Dalton Reisner. I feel like I could be wrong, but that was a great pickup if they drafted him. Garrett Bowles starting at left tackle. Rather old for only having 1 year of experience. Sort of odd for him. Ronald Leary starting at left guard, Gradkowski starting at center, Connor McGovern at right guard. I'm sure then Dalton Reisner would probably slide into guard, because Jawan James isn't a bad right tackle. I know Reisner's could also play right tackle. I don't know if he can play center, maybe, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they drafted Reisner. I'm going to double check that just so I don't seem like an idiot. I was correct, they did draft Dalton Reisner. Jake Butt, Jeff Heuerman are the starting tight ends in this, world. Of course, Noah Fant is there in real life now. On the defensive side, probably better than the offense, Von Miller, one of the best defensive players in the NFL, of course. Bradley Chubb was a pretty solid rookie, had a lot of sacks. Todd Davis, Josie Jewell, not bad middle linebackers. Simmons is a good free safety. Only 24 years old, 88 speed, 73 zone, 75 man. I'm about it. Will Parks here at strong safety. Kareem Jackson, Chris Harris Jr. Didn't mean to go all the way over there. And Bryce Callahan are the cornerbacks. Kareem Jackson played well for the Texans this past year. Chris Harris has always been pretty good. And Bryce Callahan had a good season for the Bears too. So they have a good secondary here still. Adam Gotsis at right end. How old are you? Like 25? Yeah, I don't know what the future holds for you. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep you on the team. Shelby Harris, I'm pretty sure, is getting up there in age. Had a pretty good season. He's 27. He is getting up there, but had a pretty good season this past year in real life, according to Pro Football Focus. At least I believe so. Pretty sure he played kind of well. And then Derek Wolfe at left end. Don't really want him on the team for too much longer either. I might eventually transition into a 4-3, just for the reason that 4-3 defenses play a lot better in Madden, at least from my experience, than 3-4 defenses. I'm pretty sure when I fantasy-style rebuilt the Broncos, there was a season where Von Miller had like 28, 27 sacks as a 4-3 D-end. So I might switch to that eventually, but I like keeping the schemes that the team has in place for the first season at least, just to see how they play, so I can actually see what kind of upgrades I'm making and all that good stuff. But that's going to be the roster. I'm not going to make any moves or go into free agency or anything. We shall sim and probably do badly. I'm going to try out a new draft class for this one. It's by Bed Bath & Rainbow. It's called 2019 Draft Full. Let's see what this is all about, Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams, Cleveland Farrell, or Farrell, however it's pronounced, Devin White, Daniel Jones. Looks pretty good based on where they actually went. Is this actually the order they went? I think it is. Interesting. That's cool. I like that. So we can try to use this draft class. Hopefully, the teams stick to this relative order. Obviously, they won't because different positional needs and whatnot, but that's still pretty cool. The team is 2-6 at the midseason mark. That's okay, though, because we should get a pretty nice draft pick. The Texans are 5-3, though. That doesn't really matter. I don't know why I pointed that out. The Chiefs 6-2, Chargers 5-2, the Raiders 3-4. Few players have 1 experience point on offense. Defense, same goes there. No one with more than that, but Shelby Harris is the top free agent. I don't really want to bring him back. He's not bad in real life, but I mean, he's going to be 28 years old next year. I really don't need him. I don't think I want anybody here. If I'm being honest, I really don't need any of these guys on the team. I guess I could sign back the punter, but it doesn't even have the best, stats, so I can probably just sign a punter in free agency. I'm good with doing that. The team did not make it into the playoffs, but really did not expect to this season. We did just beat the Chargers, though, 38-17. The team went 5-11, 5-10-1 for the Raiders, 8-8 for the Chargers, 9-7 for the Chiefs. So the division didn't really turn out really that well. I thought they'd play a lot better. Let's see who we ended up beating, though. We beat the Ravens. We took down the Jets. That's a horrible 2-game streak to go on. Let up 44 points to the Rams, then 24 points to the Cardinals, and we only put up 9 points collectively. We beat the Texans, we beat the Bengals, and we beat the Chargers. So beating the Texans and the Chargers is pretty impressive. Gotta be honest there. Jared Goff wins MVP. Joe Flacco, nearly 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Not too bad of a season. Looking to replace him next year, though, for sure. Phillip Lindsay was pretty bad. The offensive line isn't fantastic on this team, so maybe that's why. Also, the scheme may not fit him that well. I'll have to try to change that next year, though. 814 yards really isn't anything that special. Jake Butt had the most catches on the team with 78. He actually had a good season. 78 catches, 833 yards, 9 touchdowns. Cortland Sutton didn't do what I wanted him to. Hopefully he can do that next year. Emmanuel Sanders had a pretty good year. Deshaun Hamilton caught 3 touchdowns. Phillip Lindsay caught 4. Sack numbers, really bad from Garrett Bowles. Everybody else played kind of well, though. Expected the offensive line to play worse, if I'm being honest here. 129 tackles from Josie Jewell is not bad at all. 11 tackles for loss for Von Miller, 10 for Derek Wolfe. 12.5 sacks for Von Miller leads the team. Bradley Chubb only got 3.5. 4 interceptions, though, from Justin Simmons. That's a really good season. 2 from Todd Davis and Will Parks, 1 from Von Miller, Josie Jewell, Chris Harris, and Craig Major. Von Miller got 1. I like to see it. Defensive touchdowns, do we have any? No. We don't have any safeties, and we have 2 blocked kicks, Will Parks and Zach Kerr. 30th on offense. A lot of that has to do with our bad rushing offense for sure. And then 18th on defense. Got to upgrade in both, categories. Anybody from the Broncos? Very much doubt it. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Phillip Rivers. What do the Jets do? They went 7-9 with Le'Veon Bell. And I always like looking at that just to see how big of an impact he actually makes. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Jayon Brown. That's interesting. Von Miller at number 10. At least we have somebody in there. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Baker Mayfield. Phillip Lindsay at number 5, though. Did I see anybody else? Yeah, alright. Cortland Sutton at number 8. I was going to say, I was looking for him, but I just went right over him, I guess. Defensive Player of the Year, Tremaine Edmonds wins that one. What's his overall now? An 83. He's a good player to get in a rebuild. Josie Jewell in there at number 2. Maybe he got a good number of experience points. I very much doubt it, but it would be cool if he did. And then Bradley Chubb at number 9. Another reason why I might switch to a 4-3 is because Bradley Chubb goes up to like an 84 overall or something like that when you switch him down there. Phillip Lindsay has 2 experience points, 1 for a couple other players on offense. Defensively, we got 3 from Justin Simmons. That's quite nice. Bradley Chubb has 3. Josie Jewell only got 1. Bryce Callahan has 2 at least. Alright, we have to do something with this defense next year. We are heading into the offseason now. Let's see who's available. $49.29 million. Ndamukong Suh is the first player. Trey Boston's always someone I want to go after, but I never can because of how many points the Redskins and the Dolphins always go after him with. Jay Ajayi, of course, is usually here, but I don't need him. William Hayes, Demaryius Thomas, Trevor Williams, Marshawn Lynch, who retired, but I guess that's not in this roster currently. I don't think I'm going to go after anyone, at least anyone that notable. I might actually just try to get some random players. I do need a punter, though, so I'll at least do that. We signed a new punter. It was Marquette King. Apparently no one in Outlaw knows what he looks like. You guys know what I'm talking about. Outlaw, of course, Bengal and Param Crow's new clan. They made a video of all the members, like, having a little trivia thing, and none of them guessed Marquette King right. But yeah, we signed him to the team. He's a good punter. We have the 4th overall pick here in the draft. I really want Quinnen Williams, and I feel like the Dolphins are going to take him. I don't want to trade up, though, because there are a lot of very good defensive tackles in this class, so if we can't get him, it's not the biggest deal. Let's see, though. They might even go with Kyler Murray. They're going to go with Devin White, 1st overall. Okay, did not expect that one. The Bengals are going to select Josh Allen, and then the Panthers are going with Nick Bosa. That would be interesting if that happened in real life, but I think now we can go with Quinnen Williams. I really want him on this team. Dude's an absolute beast. can play 3-4 defensive tackle or could play 4-3 defensive tackle, at least in Madden terms. Let's go with him here. 82 overall, superstar development. Arguably the best player in this entire class. 90 strength, 81 block shedding, 83 power moves, 81 finesse moves. Dude's a beast. The Jets got a great player in real life. We are now in the second round, and Josh Jacobs just went to the Panthers. Who is still here, though? Daniel Jones, still available. That could have potentially happened in real life, but the Giants, didn't let that happen. Jerry Tillery is still here. I guess I could have went with somebody else and drafted Jerry Tillery later. Who's still on my draft board? I don't have this organized at all. I could go with Drew Lock. That might actually be the move. Unless Jawan Taylor is still here. Let me actually just look for that, because I know I need a tackle at some point. Jawan Taylor is not, but Dalton Reisner is. And we don't have another second-round draft pick like the Broncos did in real life. Pretty sure they got one from trading. No, I think they got that one from the Bengals. Maybe in a different trade some other time. I don't know exactly, but I probably won't be able to get Dalton Reisner. Not the end of the world if I don't get him. But I think I will go with Drew Lock. Let's do what they did in real life. I'm going to go with Drew Lock over Daniel Jones. I think he's better both in real life and probably better in the game. Here we go. 77 overall, quick development for Drew Lock. 96 throw power, 80 deep accuracy, 79 medium, 83 short, 82 speed as well. He really just looks like a more mobile Joe Flacco at this point. Will Greer was a 78. I guess he would have been a better quarterback to go with, and he actually went to the Panthers, like in real life. LJ Collier is still available. He was a first-round draft pick. One of the more interesting draft picks of the class, if you ask me. But now we are in the third round. Have some fourth-round talent. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I want him, so I think I may have to go after him now. Could go Akeem Butler here. I really should take a wide receiver at some point, but I think I could wait. Actually, no. The plan now is to go after Deontay Thompson, I think, in the fourth round. Deontay Thompson looks amazing in this draft class. I think he was a steal, in my opinion. His draft stock kind of went down a lot, but he's looking pretty good in real life. The Cardinals had one crazy draft. But right now, then, I think we can go with Akeem Butler. Let me think for a second. Early fourth rounder. Could probably take him in the third here. I think it would be worth it in the end. Let's do that. Akeem Butler, welcome to the team. 76 overall, quick development. Very well-rounded. All of his stats are in the green, which is what I like to see. He's also 6'5". Another player that the Cardinals selected. I'm telling you, man, the Cardinals had one of the best drafts. Ben Powers just went to the Panthers. 71 overall, not the best selection they could have had, but let's see. Is our guy still here? Deontay Thompson is still available. So is Amani Hooker, who also looks pretty good, but I think Deontay Thompson's going to be better. 74 overall. All right, so not as good as I thought he was going to be. 91 speed, 83 zone coverage, 90 hit power, I want to say. Yeah, that whole A to reorder thing is so annoying. Not very good tackling. His man coverage is actually pretty good as well. I might shift him over to strong safety. He has good hit power. He can probably get the job done. How big is he? 195? I feel like that's kind of small, but it's all good. So Raekwon Davis is in this draft class. Interesting. I don't think he should be. That's alright. He's going to go to some team. Should he come to our team? That doesn't look fair. I feel like I shouldn't take him. I'm not going to take him. Alright. He might be really good, because I'm pretty sure he is very good, but I'm not going to take him. I don't know why he's still here. But with this pick, I will be going with a defensive tackle, just because I might be running a 4-3, so I want to prepare for that. I think I'm going to go Kalen Saunders here. Maybe not. He isn't as strong as I thought he was. That guy's 30 bench press reps. What about you? 32. Armin Watts is looking like the best dude. I still think I'm going to go with Kalen Saunders. His third round grade is really swaying me in that direction. Wow. That was not the right pick. He is terrible. I wish I would have scouted him. So I guess you just can't look at grades anymore. Which is cool. I guess that means you actually have to scout some guys. So we have another 5th round draft pick. I kind of forgot about that. I threw some other guys on my draft board like Justin Hollins and Armin Watts. Pretty sure Justin Hollins could potentially play middle. Did he get drafted by the Broncos? I'm going to draft him now, though. He looks pretty good. 73 overall, normal development. Okay, so nothing spectacular. Very fast. Decent tackling, good acceleration, pretty poor zone coverage, good block shedding, good finesse moves. Is he really a pass rusher? I thought he was more of like a 4-3 kind of outside linebacker, but what do I know? I think I'm going to go offensive lineman here, but I think David Edwards was selected. Didn't think he'd go yet. I don't think I'm going to be able to draft somebody who can come in and start, but let's go with Bo. 74 overall. I actually lied. He could probably start somewhere. You might even shift into center, because my center is not very good. I do want to replace Garrett Bowles at some point, but I don't think it's going to be this year. I think this has been a pretty solid draft so far, except for that one blunder by taking that defensive tackle who was like a 66 overall. Anyone left? Any defensive tackle is looking pretty good. This guy's a 6.4 combine grade. Why are you so high? Pretty agile for being 300 pounds. I might go with Armin Watts. He looks pretty decent. He was the guy I was contemplating going with anyway. Let's see. Are you anything special? 65 overall. Alright, well, defensive tackles don't look like they're that good down the line. Even with those two really bad draft picks of defensive tackles, I still think this draft was nice. Quinnen Williams with a huge selection. Drew Lock, Hakeem Butler, Deontay Thompson probably will all have starting roles. Justin Hollins might get some playing time. I don't really know, but Bo will for sure start somewhere. But let's check out the rest of the NFL draft, and let's just check out this draft class in general. Devin White went number 1 overall. He is star dev. He has 92 speed. That's insane. Josh Allen went right after him, then Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams, TJ Hawkinson at number 5, Cleveland Ferrell, 75 overall. I feel like that's rather low. Who knows, man? Ed Oliver, 80 overall. Superstar dev, of course. Let me check out. I want to see what Dwayne Haskins went to the not the Cowboys. He went to the Giants. I want to see what Kyler Murray's speed is all about. 94 speed. That seems a little extra. I don't think he's going to have 94 speed in the next Madden. Who knows, but he went to the Patriots. Alright, this is the team heading into the second season. We're only a 76 overall. We are really not that good, but the defense is getting better. 83 overall on that side there. Drew Lock starting at quarterback should go up in overall pretty well. I'm excited to see what he can do. Phillip Lindsay hopefully can prosper in a different offensive scheme. Same wide receiver core essentially. Do we just now have Hakeem Butler playing the number 3? The offensive line changed around a little bit. McGovern and Bo are now starting. I mean, McGovern was starting before, but he's a different position now, starting at center. And then defensively, I switched down to a 4-3 defense. Bradley Chubb's up to an 86. Von Miller, 99 overall. Quinnen Williams, I want being the number 1 defensive tackle. Cornerbacks are all the same. Safeties, I think I'm going to keep the same. Will Parks isn't that old. He's only 25. Yeah, you can chill at strong safety. That's not that big of a deal. I thought Deontay Thompson would be a much higher overall. That's why I went after him. We have Hollins playing right outside linebacker. I thought he was more of a 4-3 outside linebacker. I could be very wrong. He's extremely fast, good block shed, good finesse move. He'd be a pretty good pass rusher, but I'm going to let him chill there at right outside linebacker. Todd Davis at middle, Josie Jewell slid over to left. And then specialist, pretty much the same from last year. So, the team probably won't play too well. I just really hope Drew Lock can win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's really all I'm shooting for this year. Okay, the team's playing pretty well. We are 4-3. Better than I thought we'd be. 5-1-1 from the Chargers. We are in second place, though. The Chiefs are 3-4. The Raiders 1-7. Quinnen Williams has 3 experience points. I'm looking forward to using those at the end of the year. Probably going to have around 8, maybe, because of the superstar development. 1 going around for a bunch of players there on offense. And then on defense, Quinnen Williams has the most. Chris Harris Jr. needs to come back to the team. He's getting up there in age. He's like 30 now, but he's an 87 overall. I want to give him like a smaller deal, maybe like a 2-year deal just to have him for the rest of the rebuild, really. Emmanuel Sanders, he's always in free agency, and no one ever gives him an offer. So if I decide to want him after this season, I can just pursue him in free agency. Derek Wolfe, I don't think I'm going to go after. He's a pretty solid defensive tackle, but defensive tackles are pretty easy to find in free agency and the draft and whatnot. Justin Simmons, I want. Adam Gotsis, I don't really want. I could have him play defensive tackle, but I don't really think it's that worth it. Will Parks, I'll probably bring back too. Connor McGovern, I might bring back. He's currently starting, so why not, right? Let me get started here, though. We brought back Andy Janovich to start things out here, and I did not bring back Connor McGovern. I just kind of thought about it for a little bit. He's only a 72 overall. I can easily find a better center. If not, it really isn't that big of a deal. Will Parks, I brought back. Justin Simmons and Chris Harris are all back to the team. We actually made the playoffs this year, going 10-6. All right, we have to take on the 8-7-1 Jets. We did not win the division. The Chargers did, going 13-2-1. The Chiefs 6-10 and the Raiders 5-11. The Chiefs aren't playing too well though. Interesting. They usually are pretty solid. 3-1 in the preseason. Lost the opening game. Beat the Packers, though. Beat the Bengals. Beat the Lions and the Bears. So that out of order. We got shut out by the Raiders 14-0. Took down the Colts 9-7. That's a weird game, too. We destroyed the Raiders the second time over, though. And then won the final 3 games. Big 3 games to win. If we would have lost 2 of those, we probably wouldn't have been in the playoffs. Deshaun Watson wins MVP, but Drew Lock, 4,200 yards essentially, 34 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. What did I just say? I hope I said that right. Let's try that again. 4,200 yards, 34 touchdowns, 13 picks. I think that was right. A very good rookie season. That should be enough for Rookie of the Year, but really all depends on how some of the other quarterbacks did, especially if they got drafted by, or only if they got drafted by AFC teams. Phillip Lindsay was a little bit better, but still not that great. Under 1,000 yards, under 4 yards a carry, 7 touchdowns isn't all that bad. I think I'll give him another season. I like Phillip Lindsay a lot. I think he's an excellent running back, but just not playing well in the game. Royce Freeman, 4 touchdowns. Maybe that's a product of the scheme. I don't really know. Cortland Sutton had a great season. 99 catches, 1,127 yards, 8 touchdowns. I wanted him to have a season like that last year, but it's all good. Emmanuel Sanders, 8 touchdowns. Hakeem Butler, 5. Jake Butt, 6. Phillip Lindsay got 3. Jeff Hireman got 3 down there, only on 12 grabs, I think. And Garrett Bowles played a bit better this year. I still don't want to keep him on the team. He doesn't really play well in Madden for me. 96 total tackles for Todd Davis, and there's a really good reason why I switched to a 4-3 defense. 15 tackles for loss for Von Miller. 26 sacks. If you guys are ever rebuilding the Broncos, change to a 4-3, I'm telling you. 9 from Bradley Chubb is great, but that's like 3 times less than what Von Miller did. 2 interceptions from Josie Jewell, 1 from Todd Davis and Chris Harris Jr. Only got 4 picks this year, but to be fair, the quarterbacks probably didn't even have time to throw with that many sacks from Von Miller. Alright, anyway, defensive touchdowns. We don't have any. Safeties, we don't have any. Blocked kicks, we have 2. Jermaine Grace, Keyshawn Bierra, maybe? Bieria? I don't know how to pronounce that. Let me just check out forced fumbles. Did Von Miller have a ton? He only had 1. That's actually really surprising. He had 26 sacks, only 1 fumble. So 16th on offense, a lot better from last year. First on defense. That has to like all be Von Miller. It really does. He should be an MVP. It's nuts that he isn't. Anybody from the Broncos? Drew Lock makes it at number 9. Von Miller should definitely be in here. If he ever got 26 sacks in a year, if any player ever got 26 sacks, they would win MVP. Hands down. There's no chance they would not. Le'Veon Bell is the best offensive player for the AFC. Drew Lock in there at number 8. What I like to see. I don't think there's a rookie. Lamar Miller is a player I don't see frequently, so that's cool. Defensive player of the year, of course, goes to Von Miller. How could it not? Anthony Walker. Yeah, 83 overall. Wow. All right. Nobody else from the Broncos. That's all good. The offensive rookie of the year goes to Drew Lock. Exactly what I wanted to see. Hakeem Butler at number 5. N'Keal Harry went to the Ravens. Daniel Jones on the Dolphins. Kyler Murray. I guess he played because there was no way he'd be in second if he was a backup. Defensive rookie of the year goes to Devin White. Anybody from the Broncos? Quinnen Williams at number 7. He should have a ton of experience points. Even though he wasn't that high on the list, he still has superstar development. So here we go. Drew Lock. He has 4. Okay, that's what I like to see. 5 from Cortland Sutton. Excellent. 2 for a couple other players. Quinnen Williams has 10. Superstar development is insane in Madden. Oh my lord, that's going to be fun to spend. The team is very much improved after that little upgrade period. Drew Lock up to an 83 plus 2 with confidence. Cortland Sutton 84 overall with some confidence there. And then the highlight of all of that upgrading, Quinnen Williams 93 overall plus 1 with confidence. Von Miller can't even go up anymore. I literally can't upgrade him at all unless I changed his position, but I'm not going to go that route. The team's looking really good. The defense is an 87. I usually have better defenses than offenses. I don't know why. I just always build teams that way. The offense isn't horrible. It's a 79 overall, but here we go. We should be able to take down the Jets. Obviously, they are much improved as well. They are actually a higher overall than us. The Jets have a pretty good team now. Gotta be honest. They play pretty well in Madden. Of course, in my Jets rebuild, they went like 14-2 the first year. Here we go, though. Can we take them down? We can. Okay, we have to take on a divisional rival. The Chargers are insane to take down. They're only an 83 overall as well, but their players play way too well. I mean, they have a very good team. You know, don't get me wrong, but their players play out of their minds in Madden. Did we win? We did win. We're going to the Super Bowl. No, not yet. Hold on, not yet. We had started in the wild card round. Hold on. Let me calm myself for a second. I thought we were going to the Super Bowl. But the Browns, 87 overall. This might be our Goliath. We might not be able to take them down. But here we go. Let's sim straight to the Super Bowl. Are we in the Super Bowl? I really don't think we're going to be able to make it. But we do. Okay, let me check out these games. Because that honestly probably looked a little fishy. I could get why. Because I don't think we should have won really any of those games. We destroyed the Browns. 33-7. We held them to 200 total yards. Baker Mayfield, 3 interceptions. 15 for 31. Oh my god. What a game for him. Drew Lock didn't really have to do all that much. He had a pretty good game. Philip Lindsay was nice. Jake Butt was really good. Who got the interceptions? I need to see this. Was he pressured a lot? Had to have been. 3 sacks from Von Miller, 1 sack from Quinnen Williams, half a sack from Riley Chubb and Justin Simmons. I mean, you're getting sacked 5 times there. Interceptions, who had them? Justin Simmons, Josie Jewell, Chris Harris Jr. Man, Baker Mayfield could not get anything going. We put up a lot of points in all those games, too. The offense seemed to be clicking, but here we go. Going up against the Saints. Let me actually use these upgrade points. I'm just going to quickly upgrade everybody. Do one of those. And now, taking on the Saints in Super Bowl, what, 54? Is that where we're at this point? I'm not even sure. They're in 90 overall, and we're in 80. All right, this will not be easy. Our offense is not messing around today. 31-17, 34-17, 34-24. We scored on almost every single possession, and we're going to beat the Saints. Wow. Did not expect to come away with that one, but it happened. How did we do? Well, Drew Brees seemed pretty good. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. 35 for 41, 348 yards. That's a great game for him. 85% completion percentage. Drew Lock was pretty good. 246 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Actually, no interceptions, my bad. Philip Lindsay, almost 100 yards. He had 99 yards, had 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara got 1. Royce Freeman also got 1. He played really well, 6.5 yards a carry. Cameron Meredith, 13 for 93 with a touchdown. Des Bryant, 7 for 109. Who scored for us? It was Emmanuel Sanders having a pretty good game there. How did Von Miller do? 2 sacks from Bradley Chubb. Von Miller only got 1 sack. That's still good, but Chris Harris got the interception too. I definitely did not expect to win the Super Bowl this early. Honestly, the Broncos have not been too good to me recently in past rebuilds. I normally kind of struggle with them, but this one's going all right so far. Now that I said that, it's going to go terribly from now on. Kareem Hunt, 94 overall. He's always here. Not going to go with him. Matt Breida, also pretty good. You're not going to go with him. Will Fuller. Oh, I really want Will Fuller. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off. I might try to go all out on him for this final season. I think it might be worth it. Austin Blythe, I'd also very much want, but kind of can't. I'll probably give him a contract. It won't be much, though. I could use some linebackers. Devontae Parker. Not Devontae Parker. He is here, but that's not who I was thinking of. Keelan Cole. I don't really want him. Emmanuel Sanders, like I said, is still here. Linval Joseph, I could use another defensive tackle. I kind of want to look to draft one, maybe. Alright, so let me go after a couple players here. I definitely won't be getting that many. I went after a couple players here. I think it was 3 in total. Who did we get? We did not get Will Fuller. I gave him 128 points. Alright. We did not get Austin Blythe. I didn't give him that many points. We really didn't expect to get him. And we didn't get the other guy. At least, I mean, we didn't hear from him. I guess no news is good news in some cases. Did not mean to click on that. Give me a second. Let me show you how many points I actually spent on Will Fuller. I gave him a huge contract. But instead, he's probably going to go to the Dolphins. 129. The Dolphins swoop in right at the end. Probably stole Austin Blythe. I wouldn't even call this a steal. I put in like 110 points on him. Didn't really expect to get him. But Sean Rawlings, I wouldn't mind starting him at center. 72 overall. Probably going to be looking to draft one anyway. So, I mean, if I can't get him, really not that big of a deal. Shaq Thompson might be a player I go after. He fits this scheme currently. He's horrible in zone coverage, but that's actually okay. I'm going to go after him. He's pretty good. He's an 83 overall. I know, why not? I went after a few more players in the second wave of free agency here, so let's see. We got Rawlings. We did not get Shaq Thompson. I'm not getting any of the players I really wanted, but we did get Shaq Lawson. So he's not going to be playing defensive end for me. He is going to be playing defensive tackle. I don't think I'm going to be in the range to draft one. And I know he's a bit small, but I saw in a comment recently that he played on the interior, sometimes at Clemson. And if that's true, then, defensive tackle in a 4-3 really isn't that big of a deal. It's not super unrealistic then. He's also pretty good at defensive tackle. He's an 82 overall. I'll definitely take that. So obviously after winning the Super Bowl, I have the last pick in every single round. So in the first round, essentially a second round draft pick here. Who can we get? Any offensive linemen still available that I want? Doesn't look like it. That's fair though. Makes some sense. Matt Womack. Okay looking right tackle. I kind of just need someone to maybe play guard. I want Colton Prater a little bit. I might go with him at the end of the second. Darrell Williams isn't a bad looking center as well. Could go with him also at the end of the second instead. All positions. Who could we get? Tua, is here. That makes a lot of sense. I don't need a cornerback. Could use a wide receiver just in case I want to play him over Deshaun Hamilton. And this guy actually looks really, really good. Huh. Yeah, let's go after Henry Ruggs. 79 overall, normal development, but man, is this guy good. 94 speed and 94 short route running, 86 catching. How tall are you? I didn't notice your height. 6 feet tall, too. Yikes, this guy's really, really nice. Let's see who we can get at the end of the second round. Almost at first. Tua is still here. You're kidding me. I almost want to take him just so no other team gets him. Let's see, are there any offensive linemen who I want? Jake Hansen, maybe someone I go after. That guard I wanted is gone. He was supposed to be a mid-third rounder, I think. This guy's supposed to be an early third rounder. I might just go with him because of that. I'm using one of the old draft classes that I'm used to, so usually I can kind of base it off of when they're supposed to go. You know, I can base their overall off of that, I mean. I think I might do that. It sucks that Tua's still here. I kind of want to select him, honestly, just so no one else can. I wouldn't start him, but let's just go with Jake Hansen. 75 overall, quick development, not a bad center. He can probably stay and start there. If Tua's still available at the end of the third round, I will be selecting him. Just 1,000,000%, I'm going to go with him just so no other team takes him. He is not still here. That would have been insane if he still was. CeeDee Lamb is, though. He would have been a cool selection to go with, but I don't really need him anymore. Could go with a cornerback. I don't really have anybody else scouted down here who I really want. A couple other centers who I no longer need since I drafted a center. I mean, okay, it's actually not a bad idea to take these guys anyway in case one of them can play guard. So I think here I'm just going to go with the cornerback and then probably sim to the end of the draft. Lamont Wade out of Penn State. Should we do it? Supposed to be a late third rounder. That's where we are now. But this guy's supposed to go in the second. So I kind of want to go after him from complete rival of a school in Ohio State. Oh no. Let's just do it. 76 overall. Normal development. 6'2". Good size for him. Really bad man coverage, but good zone, good press. Not too bad. I'm just going to sim to the end of the draft here. Now, for having the last pick in every round, really was not that poor of a draft for me. Henry Ruggs, 79 overall wide receiver. Excited to see what he can do. Jake Hansen, 75 overall center, 76 overall corner. Probably one of the centers I threw on my draft board. 73 overall. I don't think he's going to start, but that's okay. Let's check out the NFL. When did Tua go? That's what is most intriguing to me. Sorted by overall. The first overall player in the class went in the third round. Pick 7 to the Bills. That's unbelievable. I don't understand how the game works. Sometimes I've seen him stay until, you know, like the third round. I've also seen him go in the top 3, so I don't really know what to expect. Jerry Jeudy looks like a beast on the Panthers. Raekwon Davis, once again, in this franchise on the Steelers this time. Najee Harris going to the Texans in the first round. Derek Brown going to the Ravens. J.K. Dobbins looks like a nice running back going to the Cardinals. Grant Delpit going to the Patriots. That would be pretty lethal if they could snag a safety like him. You know, the team isn't outstanding, really, by any means, but it's pretty solid. I think we have some nice young playmakers on this team. Like, the wide receiver core isn't that high of an overall, but Courtland Sutton plays really well in Madden. He's an 84 overall. We now have Ruggs playing the number 2 and the slot. He should go off, hopefully. And then Butler, you know, number 3 wide receiver, really not a bad option there. Drew Lock played well last year. Hopefully he can do that once again. Phillip Lindsay can maybe get over 1,000 yards with over 4 yards per carry. That's what I'm looking for. The offensive line looking pretty tragic, but they didn't play that badly last year, and I think we kind of got better. I mean, Ronald Leary is regressing, which sucks, but Hansen's a pretty good center. He should be able to play well there. Bo playing right guard. I never want to try to pronounce his last name. So he's playing there. He's not bad. Garrett Bowles played decently well last year, only let up 10 sacks. Jake Butt, best name in football, can't ever not start him, really. And then on the defense, this defensive line is really good. I usually have good defensive lines. I don't know why. That's just where I always go whenever I do rebuilds. The cornerbacks kind of getting worse because Chris Harris is regressing. I cut Kareem Jackson just because he was regressing a ton. He was like a 77 overall, so Fuller can now play. Not that big of a deal. We just drafted him. Simmons still starting at free safety. 86 overall, can't complain there. Will Park's not bad at strong safety. The linebacking core really isn't that special, but again, they're playing kind of well. So even though the overall of the team is an 81, I think this team has a lot of potential. I feel like they can maybe make it back to the playoffs again. The team did not make the playoffs. That's okay. Didn't expect to this season after that midseason mark, after the record at the midseason mark, I guess. We did go 8-8, which really isn't all that bad. 11-5 from the Chargers, 7-9 from the Raiders, 6-10 from the Chiefs. Alright, so we tied in the preseason, so we went 2-1-1. Lost the first 4 games. Then we beat the Jets, lost to the Chargers, beat the Bengals, Chiefs, and Dolphins, lost to the Buccaneers 1-2, lost to, beat the Saints and the Bills. So after that 4-game losing streak, we actually played pretty well. If we could have won a couple of those games, that would have been huge. There's also a dog barking outside. I'm sorry if you can hear that. Drew Lock, though, actually played sort of well in the yardage department, 4,353 yards. 29 touchdowns is nice, but 1 pick a game on average really isn't that good, but still, solid season. I'll take it. Philip Lindsay finally played well. 1,130 yards, 10 touchdowns. It took him this long to do so. Courtland Sutton was great once again. 96 catches, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Henry Ruggs, the rookie, 965 yards, only 2 touchdowns. Jake Butt is actually pretty good in the game, man. 79 catches, 816 yards, 6 touchdowns. Hakeem Butler gets 6 more touchdowns. Philip Lindsay gets 5. Blocking was okay. Jawan James didn't play too well, but Garrett Bowles got better every season. I guess that's something to look forward to. Todd Davis, 97 total tackles. Tackles for loss, 18 from Quinnen Williams. 16 from Von Miller. The reason why okay, so 18 total tackles for loss isn't like an insane number. I said it like it was, but the only reason why I said it like that was because I saw how many sacks he had. 19 sacks at defensive tackle. Let's go. 13.5 from Von Miller. Jeez, what? So Von Miller had nearly 40 sacks in 2 seasons. That's absurd. 3 interceptions from Bryce Callahan, 2 from Chris Harris, Will Parks, and Jordan Fuller, 1 from Todd Davis and Justin Hollins. This team still played pretty well. Honestly, I still think this team deserved to make the playoffs, but it's okay. No touchdowns, no safeties, 1 blocked kick from Justin Simmons. I want to check out forced fumbles again. So nobody with more than 1. Somehow Quinnen Williams didn't get 1, even though he had 19 sacks or whatever. 7th on offense. Honestly, we're probably top 10 on defense. We were 3rd, and this team went 8-8. Alright, I'm not going to look at the record. This was a pretty successful year, I'd say. So I think this is a good one to end it on in the end. But Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, 1-2 for MVP. Nobody from our team. That's fine, though. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Deshaun Watson. Philip Lindsay at number 9. That's cool. He finally makes it. Defensive Player of the Year, Ryan Shazier. Where is... What? Wait. Where is Quinnen Williams? How is he not even on the list? That's unbelievable. Can defensive tackles just not be on this list or something? That's ridiculous. There's no way. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Tua. Even though he's a 3rd-round draft pick, he's an 89 overall. That's so stupid. That's stupid. That's just insane. I guess I shouldn't have said stupid. That's ridiculous. Henry Ruggs, though, at number 6 for us. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Baron Browning, I feel like always wins it. A lot of Raiders and Chiefs players in here. Patty Fisher, Marco Wilson going to the Chiefs, not bad. Anybody from our team? I don't see anyone. I see Grant Delpit in there, though. Best quarterback goes to Deshaun Watson. Drew Lock at number 6, not too bad. Best running back, Melvin Gordon wins that one. Philip Lindsay at number 4. Best wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. 2 Chargers wide receivers. They have Trayvon Grimes. All right. Nobody from the Broncos. I thought Courtland Sutton would have made it, but all good. Just checking a couple more times in case I missed them. Joel Bitonio wins Best Offensive Lineman. Nobody from the Broncos. We're not really getting anywhere near these awards. Best Defensive Lineman doesn't even go to Quinnen Williams. I want to see if Myles Garrett had more... I almost said Myles Jack. I want to see if Myles Garrett had more sacks. Von Miller comes in at number 3, though. Best linebacker goes to C.J. Mosley. Makes sense. Dude's a beast. Don't think we have any Broncos in here. Best defensive back, Justin Reid, who's up to a 96. That's cool. Best kicker, Chandler Catanzaro. Brandon McManus is on the list at number 9. I always overlook the Broncos, so there's a solid chance I missed some of my players. Let me quickly check out what Myles Garrett did. I'm actually curious what the Browns did in general. It's cool to look at other team stats sometimes, especially if they're the Browns. He played pretty well. Baker Mayfield did. How's Bradley Chubb playing this game? Really well. That's nice to see. What did Odell do? Very nice season. Very nice season. So let's check out defensively. Myles Garrett had 17 sacks. He did have a pick, though. Alright, you could argue that's a better season, but still, Quinnen Williams, my man, had like 19, right? That's insane. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching this video. I hope you Broncos fans are able to enjoy. I'm sorry I couldn't make a God Squad, but it is difficult to make God Squads in realistic rebuilds, especially when the base roster isn't that good. You know, with the Broncos, I think both their offense and defense are under 80s. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what they start out with. Maybe their defense is like an 81. I think that might have been the case. But yeah, it's hard to make really, really good teams with pretty subpar rosters in the game. But once again, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did end up enjoying, feel free to leave a like. It definitely helps me out. Also, feel free to comment anything you want. I don't really care. I just like reading comments. You can talk about the video. You can talk about whatever. It's just always cool to see those notifications pop up. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.